Hello again, you guys. Welcome back to the channel. It is Comic Kid here again, and today I am super stoked for this figure review. As y'all can clearly see, it is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Retro Wave Spider-Man Symbiote suit action figure, and that is quite a mouthful to say, and believe it or not, I got that on my first take. Now, this is actually my first symbiote suit Spider-Man from Hasbro and Marvel Legends, or rather just Hasbro. I do have the Toy Biz one from forever ago that we'll actually be comparing it to here. And I absolutely love this guy. He's served as my symbiote suit Spider-Man for quite a long time. He came with a hang glider that shot a symbiote web and all that. And I just loved how poseable he always was, and so I'm very sad to see such an upgrade come from Hasbro. As much as I'm excited for this upgrade, it is a bit bittersweet. Now, I know this is not the first symbiote suit that Hasbro has ever put out, but it is different enough that I actually think it's worth the upgrade. And we'll also compare him to the classic Pizza Suit Spidey as well. This is not the new one that came in the original Retro Wave and whatnot. That one I actually was never able to find, but I actually like the bigger eyes on the Pizza Suit Spidey a bit more than the reissue of this one, and so as much as I love this new body and sculpt that Hasbro's got, I don't think it was worth upgrading this classic suit Spidey from the Pizza one. But without any further ado, we'll go ahead and get started into this guy here. As y'all can see, it's a great idea for the packaging and all that. I do love how it has the retro style from this style of cartoon. Actually, at my shop, we have some of the old school ones of these, and we don't have anything too valuable, but it's just, I think Hasbro did a wonderful job in the actual retro style packaging. It just gives it its own unique feel and brings kind of that classic style to new collectors who are familiar with that style and just new collectors as well. But that is about everything that I have to say about the packaging. I know you guys aren't here to hear me talk about the packaging, so we will go ahead and crack this guy open, and it is gonna pain me to destroy such nice packaging and all that, but we're gonna do it, so here we go. Alrighty now, you guys, here he is out of the box and everything, and man is he sleek. I have seen the new sculpt before and all that, all the promo photos and whatnot from the other figures, and he's not even the only one to have this sculpt in the line. There's still the Armored Spider and the Ben Reilly Spider that have the same sculpt, just with, their own modifications, obviously, but boy, does having him out of the box and in hand just make a load of difference. He is just marvelous to look at, and we'll get him a little closer here, but just look at the sculpt and detailing on this guy. He just screams Peter Parker in absolutely every way imaginable. And so right off the bat, I gotta give it to Hasbro. That is a stellar sculpt. Now, as always, we'll kind of start with the accessories. I just wanted to get my initial wow factor out of the way. But in terms of accessories, he's a bit lighter than usual, especially for Hasbro, but I mean, he doesn't really leave you wanting more. You have your open wall crawly hands here, and with two of them, that's really all you need and whatnot as well. And then, though it's not always accurate with the suit, he does come with the iconic and definitely necessary web shooter hands. Now, this is the technically symbiote suit, but there was a point where he made a cloth version of this and still needed the actual classic way of web shooting in order to do that. And so really, for a Spider-Man figure, hands are all you need. It would certainly be nice to have some webs or whatever, that are also posable, but again, not totally necessary for the figure. Now, in terms of paint, there's really not much else that you can ask for from this guy. You really just need a black suit with a white spider on it, and this totally delivers in every form and fashion. There is a bit of like glossiness, especially on the head here, that kind of breaks from sort of the matte of the rest of the figure, but it's not super noticeable. It's just on the back of the head there, and it does kind of give it that like symbiote shine, I guess you'd say. And so I do really like the paint application. It's very clean. The spider is actually sculpted in, and so I think really the only blemish I've found is that tiniest speck of black right there on the spider. But I mean, aside from that, I mean, he's looking real good. Oh, there's another little one back there, but yeah, not a deal breaker, and I'm very happy with the overall paint. Now to sort of get into articulation, you have your iconic double jointed knees. You do have a break there. And I love that Hasbro includes like that boot joint swivel. It's just something extra that really can go a long way depending on how you want to pose your figure, but also isn't always a necessary joint. You do have the regular Hasbro feet that spin both that way and rock back and forth as well. So some wonderful, wonderful range in the feet there. Absolutely love it. You have your thigh swivel, which McFarlane could really stand to add to their own. And you have a really solid and much improved thigh joint. That is a really nice angle to that there. And it does not really go back, but it does go out almost to 90 degrees as well. And so in comparison to the classic pizza Spidey suit, that is certainly an improvement. Now, in terms of the ab crunch, he goes quite far down. That is very, very solid. And then he bends back substantially far as well. That is wonderful, wonderful work from Hasbro. Normally they've put the joint kind of up here, and it actually looks like they took a page from McFarlane and added a ball torso, so you get some really nice circular range of motion there. The arms can go up and around. Mine's a little stiff there, but I do kind of like how you can feel the joints locking. And you, of course, have the butterfly shoulder. Now that's a really nice and smooth butterfly shoulder. Love that joint. It feels like it's got such a range in comparison to some of the older ones. And the way the paint apps work, it still fits very nicely with the figure. So I love how it's not like intrusive to the overall paint job on the spider. You do have double jointed elbows and single jointed wrists. At least they can only go forward and back like that. They do swivel, and so a ball joint there would be nice, but again, not super necessary. And then can't forget that shoulder swivel as well. So, and then last but not least, obviously you have the head that goes all the way around. Can look down fairly okay. Could use a little bit extra range there. But he does look up pretty alright. So, in terms of movement, this offers really everything you could want and ask for from a Spider-Man figure. I honestly think that the only one that's going to rival this in recent times is going to be the Mafex one, and I think the only thing that one might have going for it is a slightly better range of motion. But I mean, if you can find this figure for the $20 retail price, then you are probably set. unless you really like the bigger eyes on the Mafex one, this one will probably suit your shelves just fine. And then of course I did want to compare him with the classic pizza suit Spidey as well. I absolutely love this figure. For me, this is still the definitive Spider-Man figure. I know a lot of people might say it's the retro card version of that one, but all in all, like, I think both of them suit Spider-Man very well. I love the bigger eyes on this, and I love how that kind of just matches everything, at least in terms of eyes. But these are probably my top 2 Spider-Man figures from Marvel Legends. These are definitely probably my top 10 Marvel Legends overall. And especially for the pizza suit Spidey one to hold out that long is certainly saying something. Now, they're slightly different in height as well. That's not bothersome to me at all. As long as they're close, then I'm totally fine with that. On the shelf, you certainly won't notice, and in any like sort of crazy Spider-Man-like pose, you won't really notice any height difference or anything like that. But as I mentioned, I did also want to talk about this figure in comparison to the Toy Biz one. Now, this one is got some loose joints here and there, so he won't quite stand on his own, but you can see just the absolute mega amount of difference in these two. It is insane, and I just love seeing how far toys have come, especially for what's considered like the low-end brand and stuff like that. So there you have it. All in all, I'd probably give this figure a solid A+. Like, I have no complaints about it aside from a few paint mishaps, which you're gonna get on almost any and every figure. In terms of accessories, he comes with everything he needs, and I cannot wait to take some photos of this guy and just really just stretch the limits of his posability. But that is it for today's video, you guys. Let me know what you think of this figure and the rest of the wave down in the comments section below. As always, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again real soon. I do want to say we have a lot of upcoming figure videos to look forward to, and so I'll be spamming y'all with some extra figure videos in the next few days or weeks or whatever it may be whenever I have time. But again, thanks for watching, and see you guys later.